Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping and wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So I got a question, like how are you going to wholesale virtually? Who is going to do the walkthrough? So ironically, this is something that I struggle with till this day. Now, what I mean by that is, when I got into the business I got into the business in 2013, and I didn't walk through every property. Really, for 4 years, I was buying at auction and got renovating everything. But once I started going direct to seller in 2017, I made the decision that I am going to be the acquisition manager and walk through every house myself. The purpose of that was to A, determine what the repair estimates were, and B, to build rapport with the seller and really to discover if the seller had a problem that I could solve. And my thoughts as people started wholesaling virtually was that A, you can't do that in New York because New York people need to get a better connection, and B, it's not a great way to do business. And really the truth is that I was an idiot, because there are plenty of people that are wholesaling virtually and they are not doing a walkthrough. Now, what are they doing? They are having someone else take pictures, or they're having the seller take pictures, and they're getting some kind of idea of what the property estimates will be, and they're building rapport on the phone or through FaceTime or whatever other system you use. And the truth is, it's a valid way to do business. Now, it was explained to me by a very wise person that if your choice is to do virtually or live, that the way you should decide it is, well, if you have an overabundance of leads, right, then you have to do some virtually, because you're going to get more out of making multiple offers, which you can do sitting at your desk, than you can driving an hour to go see a property, talking to the seller for an hour, and driving back at 3 hours. In those 3 hours, that's one offer, and you could have made 6 offers. Now, I have to admit, I'm still not at a point, and I've been doing this full time for 10 years, where I'm inundated with leads in New York. I'm not, and I operate in other places too, right? I'm operating in El Paso, Texas now, and I've done Oklahoma, and I've done Florida. I've never been inundated with leads, so I've always felt like, well, one day I'm going to be inundated with leads, right? I'm going to try some new lead marketing channel. I'm going to have 50 leads a day, and I'm going to need to go virtually, but I've never gotten there. So I still feel that meeting the person face to face gives you a better chance to buy the house. I believe that. But obviously, if I'm buying properties in El Paso, Texas, I'm not walking the house, right? I have people on the ground where I can get some idea, or sometimes I don't even have to see it, right? If the situation calls for it and the price is right, I can sort of assume the worst case scenario. And I know what construction costs in El Paso. It's much cheaper than New York, obviously. Well, not obviously, but it is. And I can tell, I know what it'll cost for me to completely gut renovate a house. And if a guy tells me that it's not in such bad shape, I can assume less. There are assumptions you have to make. Now, the beauty of doing this direct to seller marketing and direct to seller offer making and direct to seller contract taking in other states, that you have an inspection contingency. So if I screw up in El Paso or another place else, I can, I have a 2 weeks period where I can, have somebody go there and take pictures and then say, you know what, I can't do this price because X, Y, and Z. Now, in New York, it's harder because you usually don't have an inspection contingency. Sometimes you can negotiate it, but usually you don't. Right? I would say 99% of sellers' attorneys, who are the people generating the contract, are not going to generate a contract with an inspection contingency. They're just going to say, do the inspection beforehand, because standard in New York is once you agree on a price, the inspection gets done, and then any repairs you want made get added to a rider on the contract, which to me makes more sense. But from a wholesaler's perspective, it's not as good, right? It's much better to have a period of time where you can decide that you don't want to buy it, right? Or maybe you can't find a buyer. So, but it's still nudging my head, how do I buy a property without seeing it? And I understand the question, but the truth is people are doing it, right? I have a good friend, Greg Helbeck, buys properties in New York without seeing the property, right? We'll get pictures done. Somebody will go there, take some pictures, look at it. He'll say, I think it needs 30,000 repairs. This is what he'll think. This needs 30,000 repairs, and to make an offer based on that. So it's something I really got to get out of my head. I do not want to be going on appointments. I still am. I mean, I'm in Texas now for a week, so I have other people doing appointments for me when I'm not there, but I don't want to be the one doing appointments. It's a bottleneck in the business, and I don't like it, right? So I want to hire, and I want to hire a virtual acquisition manager. Right? Ideally, they'd be in New York where they can go on appointments, but the truth is, listen, I have a good friend in Tampa who built a wholesaling business, and he said, I don't care if the house is next door to my office, we are not going to see it. We need to create a scalable system. And I think that's admirable, right? Because you can duplicate that system in a lot of places if you really are virtual. It's just not how I built my business. And sometimes I wonder if my brain is skewed towards live appointments too much. It's probably just crap that's in my head. But it is something that you know, if you want to go virtually, then no one's doing the walkthrough, right? At best case, you're going to send someone to take pictures. And worst case, you're going to make certain assumptions about what's going on inside. But again, the fact that you don't have an inspection contingency can make those assumptions bite you in the ass. So the answer is who going on the walkthrough on a virtual appointment? Maybe a person you know that's in the area. Maybe nobody. Maybe the seller's going through a walkthrough and taking pictures for you. Maybe you're FaceTiming or WhatsApp video calling and seeing it. But you got to sort of tailor that towards the way your business works. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflipandwholesale.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really, really help my the algorithm that shows my videos to more people. And a lot more people have been liking, a lot more people watching, so thank you all very much. And I post 5 times a week, right? I posted twice today because I forgot to post yesterday, one of the days this week. So please keep the questions coming. You can ask anything. It does not have to be at the video you're watching. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered recently, I'll send you a link to a video on it. If it's something new or something I haven't covered in a long time, I will do a video on it. So again, the purpose of this channel is to answer your questions, help you in any way that I can. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it.